Welcome to this YIN practice for grounding. Hi, I'm Kat and I'm a yoga teacher and yoga therapist. And in this practice today, we're going to be focusing on grounding. So calming down your body, really focusing on the ground beneath, feeling that support of the earth. And that can be really helpful for if you're feeling highly stressed or if you're highly anxious. It can help to guide your body down, calm from the inside out. If you find that you start this practice and you're too agitated and too anxious and too stressed right now for this practice, that's okay. If that's the case, you might want to start with a slow moving practice, start with a little bit of movement and then start to come down. Maybe you go for a walk first, come back, and then your body is ready and primed for stillness. Set your space up, get nice and cozy, socks, jumpers, maybe a fairy light, maybe you light a candle, all of those things that can help you to really cultivate your cocoon for your YIN practice. You might need a couple of blocks today, and I've got a bolster and I'll show you a bolster and non-bolster option. So we're going to start in our butterfly pose. So bringing the legs around in front, and you don't have to be on a mat, a yoga mat for this practice. Just making sure that the floor is supportive. Even putting down an extra blanket on your mat can be really nice. Start to bring the soles of the feet towards each other and allow the knees to fall out to the sides. We're creating this nice wide diamond shape with the legs. If this feels like you're going to lean back, then we can use a little support. Either a smaller block or a folded blanket to lift the hips. Begin to sit up a little taller and really taking your time to ease into the shape. Then start to lean forwards. And slowly start to round into the spine. So a little movement here, a little easing and wiggling. Help yourself kind of settle before stillness. Slide the hands and rest onto the ankles or the feet. And if you like, we can give the feet a little massage. So using the thumbs to push into the soles of the feet, easing up and down the arches. I know some people really don't like touching their feet, so that's completely okay if that's you. But just giving a little squeeze to the feet and the ankles if that really feels right for you. You can squeeze into the big toes. Easing up and down. So let's settle into stillness now. Melting down. Hands could stay resting onto the feet, or maybe just resting down in front of you. You could soften or close your eyes. And beginning to welcome your awareness to turn inwards. Noticing the flow of your breathing. A soft breath in. Out through the nose. And this first shape of yin, stillness. Notice how this feels. If you've had a busy day, a stressful day, maybe there's a restlessness in your body, a desire to move. That's okay. Is it possible to sit with that? Just simply observe that that is present in your body right now. And inviting the desire to move, to dissolve. Maybe it does, or maybe it doesn't. There's no expectation. But inviting this journey towards stillness, and that can take time. We can't just switch off like a light switch. But we can guide our body and our nervous system towards a calmer space. And time is important. So simply inviting this time for yourself. Giving yourself this time to be here with whatever you feel. And remember, if anything feels too strong, if you start to feel any sharp sensations or pins and needles, then listen to those and maybe ease away. We're here to nurture and look after your body. Inviting the last few moments here. And we'll begin our journey coming out of the shape. So always take your time. You can push into the floor and slowly start to ease yourself up. And use the hands onto the outsides of the knees or the thighs and guide the legs back towards each other. Heel toe the feet a little wider. And we can rest the hands back and extend the legs. Observing if any sensations are lingering, what it feels to come out of that shape. And we can bring the feet onto the edges of the mat and let the knees sway a little from side to side. Nothing too much, just a little movement. Less is more. Less is more. Lovely. So start to come down onto your back. Maybe that blanket comes with you. Could be a nice pillow for your head. You could lift the hips up and down a couple of times, and either keeping the knees bent or extending the legs, coming into Savasana. You could let the arms rest down by the sides of the body, or maybe resting the hands onto the body. Connecting inwards. Begin to feel the ground beneath. All of the touch points that your body makes on the ground as it settles. Perhaps exploring the sensation of your mat, or whatever surface you're resting on. The solidity of the ground. Solid, stable, supportive. So inviting one more moment here. And beginning to bend into the knees. And then guiding the knees in towards the chest. Giving yourself a big hug. And then allowing the feet to come down. So we're going to come into a rotation. So maybe your bolster can be a support. If you don't have a bolster, don't worry. So we can extend the right leg. Bring the left leg in. We're coming into a twist, so guiding the leg across. That left arm could rest down onto the floor, so maybe the foot rests onto the bottom leg, or could rest onto your bolster. Have a little wiggle and adjust. Find what feels comfortable. And we could bring the arms out wide. Maybe the hand rests onto the leg. And then settling into stillness. Imagining every exhaling breath, softening your body down onto the ground a little more. Where can you soften a little more? Maybe softening into your hands and into your feet, your hips or your shoulders. Melting into stillness. Inviting the last few moments here. And to come out of the shape, the arms are wide, you can bring them in. Guiding the leg with the arm back to the center. Having a little wiggle, or resting in stillness. Maybe bringing the knees in. Feels like a nice option. There's no hard and fast rules. What feels good? And what might feel good for me might feel different for you. And this is your practice. So how are you feeling? And starting to bring the feet down, and if you use a bolster, you can just move it over to the other side. My bolsters are quite light, so I can do that quite easily. And then starting to extend through the right leg. Guiding the left leg in. And then guiding the leg across. Maybe top foot rests onto the bottom leg, maybe onto a block in front of you, or maybe onto your bolster. Take a little time to adjust, how your shoulders rest, how the bolster is, the props you're using, if at all. And then settling into stillness. You could even loll your head over to the right if you like. Feeling the ground beneath. You let your arms and your legs rest a little heavier. Onto the ground. Maybe letting your head rest back. A little heavier onto your support. Inviting the last few moments here. Lying on the ground. And start to guide the head back to the center. Guiding the right leg. Back to the center. Take your time. There's no rush. Hips might shift into the middle. And if these feel nice coming in, feel free. A few circles into the legs might feel good. Guiding the knees in the same direction. Feeling a little massage. We give to the lower back. In both directions. And then rolling over onto your side. Pushing into the floor and easing up. We're going to come to our squat position. So this is where I quite like to use the blocks. Give ourselves that support. Maybe it's a stack of books. And we're going to sit on the blocks. And then bring the feet wide as if you were coming into that wide squat position. So feet a little wider than the hips. Maybe the feet turn out. And we can bring the hands onto the knees. Or maybe we'll let the arms come in front. We could stay a little taller. Or we can lift up a little taller and then melt down in the center. Hands could rest onto the floor, or if they don't reach the floor, maybe bring something so that you can still have that connection to the ground. So maybe resting onto a bolster like that. A little wiggle of the head from side to side might feel good. Everything is a suggestion, an invitation. You explore what you want to explore. And then settling into stillness. Feeling the ground beneath your feet. The supports beneath your hands, your hips. Grounding your energy, breath by breath. Inviting the last few moments here. Perhaps a few slightly deeper breaths softly in through the nose. And out. And then starting to support yourself up as you uncurl. Take your time. Moving bits and pieces to the side. You can bring the feet a little closer and then we can lean over and just hop off. Coming back onto your back for the final few moments, and if you have a bolster, it can be underneath the knees, or a rolled up blanket is also really nice. Inviting the hands to rest onto the lower belly space. If that doesn't feel comfortable, bring them in a place that does feel comfortable. But if that feels okay, resting the elbows, hands on the lower belly space. And begin to become aware of the breath coming in and out through the nose. And the rise and fall of the belly. With every exhalation, inviting a softening, as if that softening was coming deep from within your body, deep within your mind. Grounding, settling, softening. maybe you stay here for a little longer. You could stay here for another 5-10 minutes if you like. If you're ready to move, start to take a nice stretch along the ground, reaching through the fingers, maybe extending through the legs. Bending into the knees, feet could come onto the bolster before coming into the body. Rolling over onto your side. And easing yourself up to a seated position. Take some time arriving back in your space and checking in with how you're feeling. This is a nice time to move on to a meditation. We'll take some time journaling or reflecting. We've created that space for reflection. So this is a really nice practice before. So thank you so much for joining for this YIN practice for grounding today. If you liked this video and this practice, click the like button and subscribe for more practices. Thank you.